Hello and welcome to Juliet Paco Designs, or welcome back. I'm Jules, the owner and designer and dyer and maker and everything elser of Juliet Paco Designs. And this is my helper, Ghost. And we're here with another video diary. I think I spoke in the first video diary I did a couple weeks ago how I don't love the word podcast for what I'm doing, because it feels like too much pressure to like write a script and say important things. Whereas this is just more chill. This is just what I'm up to lately, what's going on in the business, all my makes and whatnot. So video diary feels much more appropriate to me. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear Ghost purring. In the last episode, there were times where her purring really came through. I would love to film a video for you without Ghost getting in the way, but I don't think that's possible. Even if I locked her in another room, she would just scream. She hates closed doors, so she would just scream and yell. And so I think Ghost is just going to be a feature of every episode. It's when she hears me talking to the camera, she's like, oh, something's happening and I need to be a part of it. So yeah, she's just going to be in every episode. Sorry about that. Say hi to your fans. Mwah. Yeah, she's a sweet little Torby, but she is very, very needy. But anyway, I have some things I want to show you. I have a couple of new stashquisitions, I guess is the term, to show you. I don't love that term, I guess, because I'm trying to like reduce my stash and instead I'm adding to it. Oops. But these things, I did have like plans for these when I bought these. So last weekend was the Fibre Festival in Salem, Mass. And for those who know me, you know I live in the Boston area. So I drove up to Salem with my roommate and I went to the Fibre Festival. And I didn't get too much because, again, I don't really like having too much stuff. And you can kind of see a little bit of my office behind me here. It's a lot of these bins here are full of yarn. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And so I do try hard to work through that, but I also sometimes there's just something that I really, really want. But I don't buy anything unless I have a plan for it. So the context for this purchase is that, well, there's a couple of things. One is that it's springtime in Boston, and all I have for pullovers, I'm realizing, the lightest weight pullover I have is DK. I have a couple of DK pullovers, but actually most of them are alpaca, so even though they're lightweight, they're very, very warm. And everything else is either worsted or Aran. So I don't have any like fingering weight pullovers, and I would like some for the springtime and like chilly nights in the summer. So I really wanted some fingering weight, and last year at the Fibre Festival, the Fibre Festival, by the way, it's a festival hosted by Anna from Circle of Stitches, who's a friend of mine. She's very cool. Circle of Stitches is a shop also in Salem, Mass, that you can visit year-round, and I highly recommend. They just moved into a new expanded space, so it's very, very nice. What are you doing? And there's a lot more stuff in there, so I highly recommend checking it out if you're ever in Salem. But it's a 2-day festival, and there's a lot of yarn dyers. There's a couple of like farm yarn people. There's some bag makers, some accessory makers, that kind of stuff. So it's a really fun festival. And I went last year, and last year I got a mini skein from my friend Kristen at East Coast Yarn. This was her exclusive festival colorway, the Salem colorway. So if you can see, it's this lovely sort of moody, variegated. There's like some rusty orange in there. There's some like olive green, some indigo blues. It's very moody. It's very Salem. It's very witchy. And this is just a mini skein of the fingering weight superwash merino. So very cute. I haven't done anything with it yet, as you can see. But I think, I don't know. I want to do something with this. I might like make like a little like ornament or some sort of home decor type something, because it's just so cute. But I love this colorway. But up until recently, Kristen really only dyed on superwash bases. So, and I don't like wearing superwash yarn. So I didn't buy any like full-size skeins of this to make any garments with, because I don't really wear superwash. But this year, Kristen has brought out a non-superwash fingering base. So this is 100% non-superwash merino, fingering weight 2-ply, 436 yards. And this is the Salem colorway, that same colorway. So obviously it's a little bit different just because, well, one, it's a different base, and non-superwash takes dye a little differently than superwash, but also because it's a full-size skein and those are just dyed differently than the minis. But you can see it's really, I mean, they're pretty, the like colors are the same. So I got 3 skeins of that to make a little fingering weight pullover. And I have a patterned plan for this. This is going to be a new pattern that I will hopefully be working on this summer, that is based off of an old pattern that I've actually discontinued. I'm going to be revamping that old pattern. It's the Just So Classic pattern, which that is like an Aran weight yarn. It's kind of my beginner friendly sweater pattern, but I'm going to be revamping that actually in the next couple months for a worsted weight. But then I also want to make a version of it for fingering weight, and I think I'm going to use my Salem yarn for that, because I think it's just going to be really, really pretty. Yeah, I can't wait to have a sweater, a lightweight wool sweater in these gorgeous colors, and hopefully I will have that in time for fall, because this is such an autumnal colorway, so that should be good. I also have plans for another fingering weight sweater, and that I already have the yarn for. I got this yarn. This is Scotia Spun yarns. It's this kind of rusty red color, fingering weight. The colorway is called that Old Red Barn. It's 100% wool. There's actually a light fingering weight, I think, because it's 450 yards per 100 grams. But actually my mother bought this for me in Halifax when we were in Halifax last summer. So it's a local Nova Scotian fiber, spun in Nova Scotia at Taproot Fibre spinning mill. So I also am going to be knitting a lightweight fingering weight pullover with this. The reason I haven't yet is because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with it. I knew I wanted to design something with it, but I couldn't figure out like exactly what. And just like a couple of weeks ago, it clicked in my head and I was like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do with this yarn. It's going to be very similar actually to the Just So Classic fingering weight. I guess, I don't know, the Just So Classic Light or whatever I'm calling it. It'll be similar to that, but with a few fun twists to make it a little more interesting. So yes, that will hopefully be coming this summer as well. But I just wanted to show you that just to prove that I am committed to making some lightweight sweaters. I also am going to be doing some more cardigans, because this is my lightest weight cardigan. It's like an Aran weight, and it's alpaca. So it's very, very, very warm. It's very cozy, but it's, this is the Knit Picks, this is discontinued, I think. This is the Knit Picks upcycled alpaca, and I just whipped it up on the machine, so it's just a basic drop shoulder. It's not very exciting, little cropped cardigan. It's very warm and I love it, but it's not good for spring or summer. So I wanted to, but I really like this color. So I wanted to make another cardigan similar to this in a similar color, but more appropriate for spring, summer. So let me show you what I have here. I had some Knit Picks Gloss DK, which is a 70 merino 30 silk blend. It's DK weight, so it's not fingering weight, but because it's a cardigan, I feel like it's easier to take it on and off, so that's kind of more appropriate for spring, summer. I had the bare color, like the undyed color, because I was doing another cardigan with it, which ended up not being what I wanted, so I ended up ripping it out. But I had a bunch of this bare yarn, but I didn't want that undyed shade for my cardigan anymore, so I actually dyed it myself. It's still a little messy because it's actually just finished drying. But you can see it's a very similar color to what I'm wearing, which is exactly what I was going for. I actually had to dye it twice though, because the first time, I don't know if you can really see the color. It's a very warm caramelly brown. I dyed it with Kutch. So it's a very warm caramelly brown. It's very, very slightly tonal because I kettle dye my yarns, and so they're not, there's sometimes like spots of unevenness, but that I think is gonna be perfect. It's gonna be just very slightly tonal as I knit it up. I am planning to machine knit this because I want to wear it to HH Americas, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. So I don't have time to hand knit a cardigan, but I will have time to machine knit a cardigan. So that is my plan. And I probably won't write up a pattern for that. I haven't written up any of my machine patterns, even though everything I've made on the machine so far has been my own pattern. I have an LK, no, I don't have an LK 150. I have a KX 350, which is very similar to the LK 150. But yeah, it's just a mid-gauge machine. And so I think there is definitely a market for patterns. I just have never used a machine pattern before, so I don't really know how to write one, because I'm sure it's different than a hand knitting pattern. So I'll have to look into that more. I haven't, because I've done quite a few machine knit cardigans and sweaters, but I haven't really looked into writing any of them up yet. But maybe I will. Maybe if there's enough interest, I will look into that, because that does seem like maybe an underserved market at the moment. Oh, and I just spotted something in the corner. I forgot to tell you. The other thing I got at Fibre Witch, I did get more than one thing. And this one kind of was an impulse purchase. But I got some fiber from my friend Kylie at Moonlit Yarns. I recently learned to spin. My friend Anne Marrow from Long Thread Media started teaching me to spin when I was at Rhinebeck last year. And she gifted me a spindle and some fiber to start learning. And she showed me how to do the basics, and I've been practicing a little bit here and there, trying to get better at it. So I still just have a drop spindle. Let's see if I can show you. Ooh. Yeah, I just have a little drop spindle. This is my first spin. I don't know, it's not really focusing. Yeah, it's pretty ugly, but it's just for practice. And this, I believe, this is the fiber Anne gifted me. It's, I think it's Romney, which is supposed to be good for beginners because it's kind of a longer wool, like it has a longer staple length, so it's supposed to be easier to draft, you know. So yeah, and it's just like a little, what is this? This is an Ashford spindle that I've been learning on. But once I get a little bit better, I have a lot more practice fibers to work on, and I'm going to keep practicing. And once I get better at spinning, then I will be able to use some of my nicer fibers that I'm starting to collect. I don't want to do what I did with yarn and buy too much and buy it faster than I can use it. So I'm not really buying fiber, but this is the only fiber that I have that isn't practice fiber. And I just couldn't walk away from that color. It's just stunning. And it's one of my favorite fibers. It is 100% American Rambouillet. So it's gonna be super, super warm, super cozy, super soft. This colorway is called Fireburn, which is super cool. And yeah, and this was kind of a surprise. I actually didn't know that Kylie was gonna be at the Fibre Witch Festival. I met Kylie last year at H&H in May, and then I haven't seen her since because she's based in Oklahoma, I think, right? Oklahoma. And I'm in Boston, so we haven't run into each other since. And so I saw her at Fibre Witch, and it was like kind of a weird, like out of context moment of like, wait, what are you doing here? You're not from New England. What's happening? But it was really cool to see her and to chat and catch up and to buy some fiber. So yeah, I'm looking forward to spinning that up. I'm looking forward to practicing more on my spinning and getting a little better at it before I start using my nice stuff. But that is the plan. The other thing I got when I was in Salem, not at the Fibre Witch Festival, but at the Salem Flea. We went there after the festival. I got these little mini candles from my favorite candle maker, Soy Much Brighter. This one is The Void, and I have been burning it. It smells so good. It's very like refreshing. It's perfect for this time of year. And then I also got Hearth, which is a little bit of a warmer scent. Oops, Ghost just tried to jump up here. It's a little bit of a warmer scent, so I might save that for autumn. But yeah, So Much Brighter is one of my favorite candle makers. The owner, Katie, is really, really cool. She's based in Beverly, I believe, and which is near Salem. She sells a lot in Salem and around the Boston area. There's like loads of shops in the Boston area that carry her candles. So if you're ever in town, look for the So Much Brighter Candle Co. They are some of my favorite candles. And actually, funny enough, this print behind them with all these little ghosts wearing like sweaters and knitting, that is also from an artist in Salem. I can't remember her name or handle right now, but I will look it up and put it on the screen somewhere, and I will also put it in the description because I love all these little ghost illustrations, obviously, because I have a cat named Ghost. So, yeah. I wanted to show you one finished object that I actually finished a while ago, but I've just gotten around to writing up the pattern. And by the time this video goes out, I will hopefully be looking for test knitters for this pattern, but it is a little triangle scarf. Oh Lord, Ghost, don't swipe at that. It's a little triangle scarf. It's stockinette and it's double, it's reversible. So it's not double knit, it's knit in the round to make it two-sided. But the nice thing about this, instead of just a normal triangle scarf, it's kind of hard to see on video, but it actually dips in the middle. So like, you know, you start at one end, and as you're increasing on this side, you're increasing on this side here, you're actually decreasing on this side at a slower rate, so that when you get to the middle, there's like a little dip down, and then you start increasing on this side and decreasing on this side. And that just makes it like fit around your neck a little easier. And so you can kind of wear it there's gonna be multiple lengths as well. I have another, you can kind of wear it as a little kerchief kind of thing, like that. Just a little neck scarf. You can also, if you want, tie it sort of looser, tighten the back. I'm not super great at styling scarves, but because I don't wear them super often, but kind of as a more bandana-y thing, I suppose. Or you could tie it in the front too, I suppose. And do like that, like, I don't know how to do it, that like necktie. It's not a necktie. How do you do it? It's like, this is embarrassing. It's like that, and then you do the other end. Something like that. Something like that. People have been doing it like that, but much better than the way I've done it. But yeah, there's multiple ways to wear it. But this is a design that I am working on. Oops. That I am working on in collaboration with Knitten Word. Knitten Word is a dyer out of Connecticut, New Haven, I believe, owned by my friend Lore. And Lore dyed up this yarn for me. This is her, again, non-superwash. I believe this is her first non-superwash merino base. It's a sport weight, but it's very light. It's almost like a finger, it knits up kind of like a fingering weight. Like when I'm wearing it, it feels very lightweight, but it's super soft. And this is the colorway. This is the colorway Mary Shelley. This collection was based on like authors, so all the colorway names are like authors. So this one's Mary Shelley, and so I wanted to do something super simple in terms of the stitch pattern because the yarn is so busy, which I absolutely love. But so I didn't want to do, I tried doing like a lacy thing. I tried doing some texture, but it just was getting lost in the color changes. And I even tried garter stitch, and even garter was like a little weird to me. So I stuck with stockinette, and then just did that little, did a little triangle with that interesting dip shape in the middle. And then I also have another sample that I'm knitting up right now. I don't know if I can show you if it's within reach. Hang on. Yeah. I have another sample that I'm working on in a more solid color rather than a variegated. And I decided that the stockinette in the plain solid would be kind of boring. So this one has little pearl ridges all along it. And this one's a different size. You can see it's slightly, let's see, it's not quite finished yet, but you can see if I line up the points. Uh-oh, Ghost is having a field day with my needles clacking. Stop it. It's a little bit shorter for folks who want it to be more of like a bandana than like a full scarf. So yeah, hopefully by the time you're seeing this video, there's a test call for that. And if you want to know more about that, you should get on my email list, which I will put a sign up down in the description below. But yeah, that's what's going on here. There's also, I don't know if I can show you this either. I think that's out of reach, but there's also not much to show you. I'm working on a bunch of Christmas patterns. If you know me, you know that I love Christmas. And I'm gonna have a bunch of Christmas knitting patterns coming out this year. They'll actually be coming out in June and July, and I'm gonna do like a Christmas in July thing. I might do a knit along actually, if people are interested in that. That could be fun. But basically I wanted to put them all out in June and July to give people time to start knitting them before Christmas, because I know the holiday season can get a little hectic. Even like the autumn season for knitters gets pretty crazy because you're like, oh my gosh, it's cold. I gotta start knitting clothing for myself again. So I wanted to get all these patterns out soon. So those will be coming out in June and July. So far I have a stocking pattern in the works, a miniature stocking. I already have several stocking patterns full-size stocking patterns out that all use like bulky yarn. This one's gonna be like a mini, like this big, like sort of pet size, I guess, stocking. It was inspired by our dear ghost, in a DK weight. Yeah, so it's a smaller stocking in a DK weight. There was a loud crash outside. I hope you didn't hear that. I'm also going to be making like Christmas crackers. So if you're familiar with Christmas crackers, they're like the little tubes and you pull them apart and they like snap, and then there's stuff inside. There's usually like a paper crown and like a little toy and then like a little joke. And they're very popular in the UK and Ireland. When I lived in Ireland, we did Christmas crackers. They're not super popular in the US yet, but I have seen them a few places here and there, and I just love them. And I wanted to knit a little version. I wanted to make a DIY version. So I'm gonna knit a tube basically, but it's gonna be separatable. It's gonna be able to separate. So because you can buy just like the little cracker, I don't know what they're called, like snap things, and basically you can make your own Christmas crackers. There's a lot of like DIY blogs about how to, you basically use like two toilet rolls, stick them together, put this little cracker in between, and wrap them in wrapping paper is usually what you would do. That's how most Christmas crackers that you would buy in a store are made. Like they're wrapped in like Christmas wrapping paper. But obviously to make it more sustainable, I am going to knit the covers, and then you can have like reusable crackers that you can use every year again and again. You just have to replace the little paper snappy bit, and I do want to include the little snappy bit. I don't want them to just be decorative, because for me the fun of a Christmas cracker is you pull it apart, you everybody gets in a circle, and then you all hold the two ends of the crackers and you pull them apart, and then whichever end comes away with like the toys and stuff in it, that's like your cracker. And then hopefully the other yeah, and you trade around until everybody gets a paper crown, everybody gets a toy. So yeah, those are the big patterns that I'm working on right now, and I'm really excited about those. There will probably be a few other little Christmassy patterns coming out. At this point it's kind of just like whatever I can get done in time, because I have a million and one ideas. So it'll just be like what I can get done. I'll probably do some more Christmas ornaments. I already have a couple of Christmas ornament patterns out. Actually, I have quite a few Christmas ornament patterns out. You can shop those on my website if you're eager to get started on Christmas knitting. But yeah, I'll probably do a couple more of those, and yeah, and we'll see what else I can get done before June hits, I guess, really. And then I kind of have to stop doing Christmas stuff and focus on other design work and my own inventory prep for holiday markets, because that gets pretty crazy. And so I have to start prepping for that in the summer, in order to not burn myself out or injure myself, like I have done in the past several years. I always end up injuring myself because I go too hard on inventory prep. So I'm trying to not do that this year, but we shall see. We shall see. So yeah, that's what I've bought, and that's my design plans, and that's what's coming up. And Ghost, would you like to say anything, or were you just resettling? Okay. Okay, so that's probably it for this week. I may or may not be doing some sewing this week. I would like to, but let's be real, it's like last on my list. I have so many other things to be doing, and while I would really like to be sewing, I'm not sure I'll get around to it. But yeah, I will show you that when I get around to it. Let's say that. All right, Ghost, is that it? Ghost, would you like to tell everybody that they can like and subscribe and get on my mailing list? There's a link for that in the description, and they can shop my affiliate links, and they can shop my patterns, and they can shop my yarn, and you can share this with your friends. Or you can just, you can comment, you can leave me a like. I appreciate all of that. Any way you can support me, or if you just want to drop in and say hello, I really appreciate all of that. So thank you so much for being here, and I will see you later. Bye.